Hey viewers, Jared the Wyrd-Worker here. Let's talk about a pagan theology of sacredness. This is the first video in a multi-part series about the topic of sacredness. In this video, I want to start by defining the word itself, because if we're going to talk about people and things as being sacred, then we need to understand what we mean by calling a person or thing sacred. First, I'd like to get in a bit of a rant. I feel like Christianity, especially evangelical Christianity and other authoritarian and dualistic expressions of that religion, have completely ruined the word. I've watched many people who want to avoid any talk of the sacred because of their experiences with how that word was used in Christian contexts, and I don't blame them. In those contexts, the word sacred has often been used to control and demean people. This is partly because sacred in that context is often seen as separate. God is sacred and therefore separate from mere mortals. Bridging the gap takes a great deal of effort or even a literal act of God. Making humans sacred, or at least worthy to be in the presence of the sacred, involves some sort of ordeal. I'd like to propose a theology that takes a completely different approach. So here's my definition of the sacred. To say that a person or thing is sacred is to say that they have, or it has, inherent value. That's it. That's my definition. Pretty simple, isn't it? I find that simple definition is a major game changer, though. Equating the sacred to the state of having inherent value means that anyone and anything can be, and I would argue is, sacred. A state of being sacred is not bestowed or adjudicated by a deity or external source. It's simply a state of being. This also means that the sacred is easily accessible rather than some far-off thing that mere mortals cannot reach. In fact, the sacred is something that is ever-present and simply needs to be recognized. That's why when I covered this topic in a podcast episode, and I'll link to that episode down in the description, I titled that episode Recognizing the Everyday Sacred. The thing is, once we start seeing everyone and everything as having inherent value and being inherently precious, the way we relate to ourselves, other peoples, and everything else in the world begins to change. Because we see our relationships with ourselves, other people, and the rest of the world as also being sacred. That is, they all have inherent value and worth. In upcoming videos, I will explore the implications of seeing ourselves, others, and our relationships as sacred, inherently valuable, and precious, because I think this is an important topic to work through. In the meantime, I'd like to invite you, the viewer, to think about how you show that you value people and things. For example, how do you show your friends that you value their friendship and spending time with them? How do you show that you think they are valuable and precious people? How do you value yourself? How do you communicate that self-worth to yourself and honor it? In this way, you can get a head start on thinking about how you relate to the sacred already. If you'd like, feel free and encouraged to share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, blessed be.